education. Standards for teachers. The first standard, facilitate and inspire student learning and creativity. Teachers will use technology to provide students with knowledge about the world around them and give them opportunities to solve real-world problems. Creative thinking should be modeled by the teacher so the students can learn through innovation and exploration. Design and develop digital age learning experiences and assessments is the second standard. Teachers should be using technology in a variety of ways, such as keeping parents and students up to date with what is going on in the classroom and evaluate student learning. Standards for students. The first standard, creativity and innovation. Students use technology to explore new ideas and issues. By understanding models, students can create their own original works through problem solving and higher level thinking. The third standard, research and information fluency. Students learn to gather information, evaluate the information, and share their reported findings with others. Activities for the standards for teachers. The first website, Breathing Earth, can be used by students to investigate the population, climate, and CO2 levels in different places around the world. The website allows teachers to evaluate their students on the diversity in the world while also showing students a real-world issue. After investigating, students can create their own solutions to help keep the Earth healthy. Teachers can use this site writing exercises for the second standard. They will develop writing prompts for their students. These prompts will help teachers to evaluate a student's progress in their classroom. Standards for students. The first standards activity is students will go to the NBC Innovation website and investigate the many inventions that have helped improve people's lives. The videos demonstrate how inventions are planned and then constructed. Students can use the models to create their own blueprint for an invention that would help them. For the third standard, students can go to Survey Planet and create surveys or quizzes. Students will collect the results, analyze the data, and report their findings. In conclusion, I've learned that a teacher should include technology in their daily lesson plans and require students to be problem solvers. Students should be exploring, investigating, and then using higher level thinking to propose their own solutions to real-world problems. Technology enables students to learn about cultures around the world and also communicate with diverse people. Learning should not stop with the accumulation of knowledge. With access to technology, students can be immersed in a variety of different environments. Technology makes it easy for students to collect new information based on their individual interests. The students can be excited to investigate and analyze their results. Here's my references, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you had some really good points with like your lesson plans that you were bringing up too. Those ideas sounded like they would actually be useful in the classroom and like something that teachers could use easily.
Yeah, I think the Teacher First gave some really great websites that kids could use to kind of learn about other cultures and what's happening around the world, not just in their town.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think the technology like really helps to like connect things like that students couldn't get in the classroom. Like they can get things from like around the country or even around the world.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, hold on.
Yeah.
I have the student standard number 2, which is communication and collaboration. This standard states that students use digital tools in order to gather, evaluate, and use information, and effectively selecting these tools based on their appropriateness for specific tasks. And then standard 4 for students is critical thinking, problem solving, and decision making. This standard states that students will use their critical thinking skills to plan research, manage projects, solve problems, and use decision making skills by using appropriate digital tools and resources. And standard 3 for teachers is model digital age work and learning, and this standard states that teachers should demonstrate knowledge of current technology in order to collaborate with their students, peers, and parents by using emerging digital tools. The first lesson that I found connects to standard 2, and on Teachers First it was on figurative language, and this activity required students to use an interactive PowerPoint presentation rather than Microsoft PowerPoint, and this kind of interactive presentation allowed students to be able to collaborate even from home, like on separate computers. They could edit the presentation and even use like a chat that could allow them to work in separate locations on the same presentation. So it allows them to collaborate from anywhere they want. For standard 4, I found a site on Teachers First that gives students the ability to research topics related to their own school, and it even allows them to compare statistics to other schools in their district or outside of the district. And they can do different tests that will give them statistics on themselves and compare them with students nationally and even internationally in different subjects or grades, and it allows them to make graphs directly on this site so that they can compare data that they find. And then an example I found for standard number 3 for teachers was a program called TypeWrite, and it allows students to work collaboratively again in groups for projects or assignments, and they can type papers individually even, and it allows the teacher to go in even while the student is still in progress on the paper and add their comments as the student is progressing so that they can give them feedback before the student even turns in their assignment. And then it can also allow for teacher and parent collaboration where like parents can like type up and give their input to the teacher and turn it in directly through this site. And in my conclusion, I just thought of things that you can think about when you're using technology in the classroom, such as ensuring you have permission before using certain tools that would require student work to be published online, because that's what like a lot of the programs I found required. And another thing to think about is to making sure all students have access to the tools that you require them to use, or you can give a variety in order to ensure there's at least one way that each student can complete the assignment, even if it's in a different way from other students. And then as a teacher using technology, you should be using these tools in order to aid them in their learning, but not making them solely reliant on the technology to complete everything.
Yeah, I think that's like a really big point too, because you don't want them to be relying on the technology. It's something there that's supposed to help their learning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked your TypeWrite idea. That's really neat to me. How the teachers can give the feedback. I think that's really important.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree too. That's really amazing too.
Yeah, I like that because they could like give the feedback like even before the student turned in the project. So. Mm-hmm. And they could like type directly onto it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the student knows what they need to improve, what they need to work on, kind of.
Mhm. Okay. So these are the technology standards that I had for mine. I started with my teaching standard, and I had teaching standard number 4, which was to promote and model digital citizenship and responsibility. And I summarize this by saying that there must be an understanding of societal issues that come along with our newly found digital culture. So teachers have to ensure students know how to correctly cite information. They're really big on that. And they were noting how it's necessary for the students to understand, us as teachers, we need to make sure the students understand what is plagiarism and how plagiarism plays into this whole new thing with technology. It's so much easier to accidentally plagiarize. I found this example sort of for on Teachers First for teachers, and there was a site, Panoramio, which it allows you to type in a location anywhere in the world, and you can see pictures from that spot. So one thing I was thinking of was, for example, a lot of students in our classrooms aren't going to know what the World Trade Center is, because, or at least what they used to look like. So that's how I was able to type that in, and I could find it from this site. And through modeling and showing students what is necessary, I can show them how to cite back that information and how to give the website the proper credit that they deserve for like posting the picture. So then next I went over to my student standard, which was standard number 5, digital citizenship. And I decided to do this one next because it kind of went hand in hand with the teaching one, because for this one, the students understand the ethical issues that come along with using technology and are able to cite the information correctly. So that's similar to how the teachers need to teach it to them. The students have to understand what that means. So not only do they have to understand that copying and pasting is bad, but they have to know why it's bad. And I found this example, egg-laying animals. It was a lesson plan, and it was really interesting. Like, I thought it was something that kids are going to love to do, and I like that it was for grades 2 to 6. So they had all these standards up in the beginning of it, and the idea was that the students were going to research a type of animal that lays eggs, so snakes or turtles, something like that, and they were going to kind of create a model egg, and they were even able to put their own animal into the egg, and then it's like in a balloon, and they create a habitat for it. And it's really interesting because they're going to create this sort of diorama through the information that they gather. And I thought this was a really great way to model for the students that they need to know how to cite their information, because they don't know right off the bat what the habitat of sea turtle is. They're going to have to find information from that, cite it correctly, and understand how to do all of that. And I just thought this lesson plan would be really fun for the kids. It looked like it would be something cool for them. So then, okay. My next standard that I had, my teaching standard, was the last teaching standard, number 5, engage in professional growth and leadership. And teachers are models for students in that they demonstrate what it means to learn all throughout life, no matter the age. So this means that the teachers need to show that they're still growing and learning, no matter the fact that they're older than any of the students in their classroom. The Teachers First example I found was they had a lot of opportunities for professional development on there. And there was this really cool one I found out about Common Core. And it was an online forum. It had already taken place in January, but I was still able to click on it and sort of log in. And it had an Adobe online account, and you could hear people talking in the background, and they were explaining what it meant for Common Core and how it related to English language arts and the math standards that go along with them. And it was really interesting because it was an online way for a teacher to get information about the Common Core, which is a very big subject right now that everyone should be knowledgeable about. And then my last standard that I had was technology. It was for students. Number 6, technology operations and concepts. So the students are able to effectively troubleshoot any technological problems that may arise and understand how to basically use technology. So this one talked a lot about if they're able to figure out why the internet's not working, and they're able to connect to their Wi-Fi and troubleshoot for problems. Oh, maybe I should turn the computer back off and turn it on again, give it a chance to restart. And they just have a basic understanding of technology in general. And then an example that I found was there was the PBS Kids Lab that was found on Teachers First. And in order to even navigate the website and to play the games that are found on there, the students are going to have to be able to fit this standard and understand what it means to log into a website, to click on a game, to surf and search for games that you're specifically looking for. So all of the educational games on there looked really helpful to the students, and I think it would be a good tool for them to use. Okay, so my last conclusion, I said that I noticed there seemed to be a connection between the student and the teacher standards. So what the teacher needs to do needs to be reflected in how the student is taught and what they're able to produce. I said that there was a lot of emphasis on having students correctly achieve the information. So in order for them to receive it and to sort of like going along with the whole citation thing and avoiding plagiarism, both my standards were really heavily focused on that, I think. And lastly, that all students should be given the opportunity to explore technology. That no matter if they should be able to reach all different areas of the internet and be able to access all types of technology, despite maybe where they live or something like that. And I just have all my references. So
I like that first thing that you shared, like the Panoramio, especially the example with like the World Trade Center, because that's obviously going to be something kids are going to learn about with like history for a long time now, and that's going to be something that they don't know what it looks like, but you're able to like search that online on that site to be able to see and like learn about it.
Yeah, that was the first thing I thought of when I thought of it, because I was thinking of, I could show them something across the world, but then not only could you do that, you could show them something that they've never seen before, or they'll never be able to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I really like the citations, like teaching kids really young how to use the citations and how to cite correctly. I think a lot of students don't know how to do that.
Yeah, even at our age, students don't know how to do it. So.
Great. Are we done?
Yeah, I think that's all of our standards.
Yep. All right.